Action Hero begins by showing a man named Joo Sung, currently living his daily life by studying at an arts university majoring in film. Joo Sung has a big dream to be successful in producing and starring in an action film with the theme of martial arts. All of Joo Sung's plans are inspired by his idol, Jackie Chan, who is now famous as one of the prominent actors in the action film industry. On the other hand, at the university where Joo Sung studied, a female professor named Professor Cha was known as one of the best acting teachers. One day, Professor Cha invites Joo Sung to one of her classes to give a self-defense demonstration in front of the junior students. Professor Cha tries to help Joo Sung promote the campus community martial arts club, which is currently lacking in interest. After praising Joo Sung's martial arts performance, Professor Cha then told him that there was a senior student at their campus who had made an action short film Action Hero. One of the male students, Chan Yeol, who happened to have a copy of the short film, was then asked by Professor Cha to give a copy of the film to Joo Sung. The scene changes in the selection of new students for acting and film majors. Several campus lecturers, including Professor Cha, were assigned as judges to assess each participant's performance in the selection. After the acting audition was over, Professor Cha approached her female assistant named Suna, who was tidying up all the documents and assessment files from all the judges. She immediately tries to remind her assistant to replace some of the audition scores with higher ones. It turns out that Professor Cha has been bribed by some parents of the audition participants to manipulate the scores so that their children can pass the selection with perfect scores. In the evening, when Suna manipulates the audition participants' scores on her computer, Jawahal suddenly appears and surprises her. Jawahal is a male assistant of Professor Cha who has never been involved in trying to manipulate audition participants' scores from the start. However, Jawahal knew about the cheating that was done by Professor Cha because rumors about bribery attempts to get into college had spread more and more on social media in recent years. Jawahal also finds out that Professor Cha receives a lot of bribes from parents of students who desperately want their children to pass and be accepted into the campus. In another place, Joo Sung and Chan Yeol are sitting leisurely in a cafe while watching the movie called Action Hero, which was previously recommended by Professor Cha. Joo Sung was impressed by the acting skills and martial arts skills of the female protagonist in the film. Before Joo Sung left the cafe, he had a chance to look at Suna, who was busy serving customers at the cafe. Suna is known to work as a part-time barista at the cafe besides having a teaching assistant as her primary job. It turns out that the woman who plays the main character in the Action Hero film is Suna. She finished the short film production in her final year as a film student. At night, a man in a black mask sneaks in front of Professor Cha's office and leaves a letter in her mailbox. When the man hears the sound of the elevator moving towards Professor Cha's office floor, he immediately runs away and goes to the basement to drive his car home. The people who took the elevator to Professor Cha's office floor were Joo Sung and Chan Yeol. They were filming for their action film project. While Joo Sung is focusing on self-defense in front of the camera, he accidentally breaks into Professor Cha's mailbox and finds a letter left by a mysterious masked man. In the letter, it was written that someone was threatening Professor Cha to hand over some money so that the bribery case for value manipulation by her was not leaked. After reading the letter's contents, Joo Sung suddenly had an idea to record all the events regarding the case and put the video into their film project. According to him, a good action film has real villains and is packed with a more exciting plot. The following day, Professor Cha finds a threatening letter in front of her office. After seeing the contents of the message from the threatening letter, Professor Cha immediately checked the CCTV to find out who had sent the letter. However, the mysterious man who had previously sent a threatening letter to Professor Cha was undetected in the CCTV footage. On the other hand, Joo Sung and Chan Yeol, who didn't actually send the threatening letter, were caught by CCTV. Therefore, the next day Professor Cha asked Joo Sung and Chan Yeol to come to her room so that she could interrogate them. Without her knowing, Joo Sung and Chan Yeol have secretly recorded all the events in the room to put the video footage in their film. After that, Professor Cha goes to see Suna and interrogates her about the threatening letter case. Suna is the only person who knows about this bribery and value manipulation, so Professor Cha gets suspicious of her. However, after Professor Cha was sure that Suna was not involved in the threatening letter, she then asked Suna to investigate who was behind this case. Hearing this, Suna feels frustrated because her workload as Professor Cha's assistant has been so heavy. Suna immediately goes to Jawahal to ask if he knows anything about the threatening letter case. In the afternoon, Joo Sung and Chan Yeol edited and put together all the recorded videos from Professor Cha's case. They also plan to follow Professor Cha, who will send money to the criminal who blackmailed her later that night. In the evening, Professor Cha comes to the place that has been determined by the criminal and immediately puts a bag near the trash can, as previously announced. At the same time, Jawahal is quietly observing Professor Cha from behind the bushes. It turns out that the person who had sent the threatening letter to her was Jawahal, and he did all that on purpose so that he could get a massive amount of money. While Professor Cha was hiding behind the debris to find out who had blackmailed her, she saw Joo Sung and Yeol, who had come to the location. This makes Professor Cha think that Joo Sung and Yeol are the ones who have blackmailed her, so she intends to avenge their actions. On the next day, Professor Cha looks tired and doesn't focus on teaching her students because she keeps thinking about Joo Sung and Yeol, who discovered the bribery and value manipulation case she had done. The next day, Professor Cha asked Yeol to come to her office and immediately gave him some money so that he would shut up. She asked him to delete all information that he knows about cases of bribery and manipulation of student grades. Seeing the large amount in the envelope, Yeol immediately accepted it even though he didn't have any evidence regarding the case of bribery and value manipulation that Professor Cha did. In another place, Jawahal, who was eating alone at a chicken shop, was approached by the old man who owned the chicken shop. The man asked him about the rent payment for the shop that he still hasn't paid. Apparently, Jawahal intends to buy the chicken stall, but he still doesn't have enough money. When Jawahal heard that many people would buy the shop first, he immediately said he would get all the rent in 1 week. That night, Jawahal decides to rob Professor Cha's house to get more money faster. However, Jawahal's robbery was discovered by Suna by chance after hearing a scream from Professor Cha. After immobilizing Jawahal using a taser, Suna finally finds out that the person who blackmailed Professor Cha all along was Jawahal. After that, Suna invites Jawahal to have a private talk in the car to ask him why he did all of this. Jawahal confessed that he had to get a lot of money within a week to pay the usual rent. The following day, Professor Cha gets a video message from an unknown number saying that Suna has been kidnapped. She has to send 1.25 billion won so that Suna can be released immediately. Hearing this, Professor Cha became even more frustrated. It turns out that the person who had sent the video message was Jawahal, who had previously conspired with Suna to blackmail Professor Cha. Suna is fed up with Professor Cha, who has been enslaving her and making her work non-stop while Professor Cha continues to earn money and profit for herself. On the other hand, Professor Cha getting increasingly panicked. She decides to report this incident to the university dean. The dean was furious at her for not telling him earlier and making this big problem more complicated. Several corrupt deans involved in the bribery case, including her, reported this to their supervisors and discussed the best plan to solve the issue. That night, Professor Cha meets Joo Sung and interrogates him about the case again. However, Joo Sung admits that he knows nothing about Suna's kidnapping case. At the same time, Professor Cha finally caught Joo Sung, who had been recording her secretly. Knowing this, he quickly took his cell phone and immediately ran out. Fortunately, when Joo Sung was being chased by Professor Cha's men, Yeol managed to save Joo Sung and took him to a safer hiding place. There, Yeol tells Joo Sung that someone has made the two of them scapegoats for the blackmail case against Professor Cha. Hearing this, Joo Sung decides to investigate this case and find out who is the real culprit behind all these cases. In the following days, Joo Sung and Yeol gathered and interviewed several students who knew about the rumors of grade manipulation by Professor Cha. Yeol records all their testimonies to be collected as solid evidence to bring Professor Cha to court. They even interviewed Jawahal, the mastermind behind all these cases. However, when Jawahal was asked by Joo Sung and Yeol, Jawahal admitted that he didn't know anything. On the other hand, while Professor Cha is discussing with another corrupt dean, she suddenly gets a message from a criminal who blackmailed her to immediately hand over the money at a point behind the university building. This made Professor Cha and the other deans even more confused and frustrated. In the evening, Professor Cha and the other deans try to check CCTV to find out who sent the threatening letters. They felt sure that there was a recording of the criminal's action on one of the student car's dashboard cameras in the parking lot. However, the plan was discovered by Jawahal, and he managed to seize the dashboard camera memory, which was handed over by one of the students to the security forces. Meanwhile, Joo Sung and Yeol trace a house that is suspected to be Suna's old house. Turned out, Suna hid in the house and pretended that she had been kidnapped. When Suna hears the sound of footsteps in front of her door, she immediately hides and runs away so that her position is unknown to others. However, Suna accidentally left her wallet and cell phone behind, so Joo Sung and Yeol found out that she had not been kidnapped but had been hiding in the house. After Joo Sung concluded that Jawahal might be involved in this case, Joo Sung immediately asked Yeol to look for Jawahal while he waited for Suna to appear at the house. In the evening, Jawahal has prepared to take the money from Professor Cha at his predetermined location. Shortly after, Professor Cha goes to the back of the university building. She places the money where the criminals had once told her. Jawahal, who saw this, waited for Suna to turn off all the campus lights through the control room so that the security officers overlooked their actions. However, Suna is late for the campus because she was restrained by Joo Sung. When Professor Cha and the security guards are hiding to wait for the blackmailer to arrive, Joo Sung suddenly appears at the place. Chan Yor, filming from inside the campus building, started to get worried and tried to warn Joo Sung. At the same time, Jawahal, who was almost caught by the security officers, immediately took the money and ran away from the place. Unfortunately, security officers had already caught Jawahal, who was hit from behind until he passed out. The security guards thought that Joo Sung was the one who conspired with Jawahal, so they immediately attacked Joo Sung. Suna, who can't bear to see Joo Sung beaten to a pulp, finally chooses to surrender herself to Professor Cha. Professor Cha and her men immediately take the three of them to be punished, but Joo Sung tries to get Suna to fight. They then perform the action of hitting the foot like a scene in the movie Action Hero. However, the three of them were detained at the police station. After the incident, the case was finally resolved and mediated by the police officers. Professor Cha and the campus decided to use peaceful means to solve this case. Hearing that, Jawahal decided to follow Professor Cha's words and make peace. Meanwhile, Joo Sung and Suna chose to continue this case and report all fraud and bribery cases committed by the campus. After Joo Sung and Suna show all the evidence regarding the bribery and value manipulation case, Professor Cha and all the deans involved are finally reported to the court. With the discovery of this case, all students protested and collected petitions to build a more transparent and clean campus environment from instances of corruption or value manipulation. The moral that can be learned from this movie is, many injustices may occur around us, and that injustice will continue until we dare to speak the truth and uphold the value of honesty.